Hey there, this is Dave Gardner with MagneticSponsors.com. And I got an email the other day. I've been promoting the Empower Network lately. In addition, I also promote programs like Pure Leverage and a couple other things because I like the tools and the training online that help people establish the content and the training and the knowledge that they need to build their business and expand their presence online. So one of the questions I got was from a prospect of mine, and it says, Dave, the BBB, basically, the Better Business Bureau, has received numerous complaints about the Empower Network, and then, wanting to know if they could use another program instead with the iPass system. And basically, the other part here says, the Empower Network has a startup cost with, in my opinion, no visible products. So I kind of went and thought, I went back and gave them, my thoughts, of course, my opinions. I am an all-in member. I'll show you that in just a minute with the Empower Network. But I went and did a little research on the Better Business Bureau. And, for example, with Walmart, okay, I shop at Walmart. They have 3,392 complaints in the last 3 years. Okay, and they've closed, a third of them just within the last 12 months. They have complaints from advertising and sales and their billing department, delivery issues, guarantee, warranty, problems with the product or service. I've eaten at Burger King probably in the last year. They have 235 complaints in the last 3 years, 78 that are closed in the last 12 months. I belong to Keybank. Okay, that's where I do my banking. They have 221 complaints. Go to the Empower Network. I am going to show you this alert here in just a second. But notice, 163 complaints in the last 3 years, 77 in the last 12 months. If you think about it, the numbers are all basically pointless. Walmart is an accredited business, and notice they're an A+, okay? But if we look at Burger King, notice they're a B+, but they're not accredited. So it's almost like Better Business Bureau was going to jump them up a scale because of this value right here. Notice Keybank, A+, and they're accredited. Again, it kind of doesn't really make sense. With Empower, they're listed as a B+, and it does say there's an alert. So people see that and they freak out. But let's take a look at what that alert says. It says, BBB files indicate that this business has a pattern of complaints concerning misrepresentation in selling practices. On September 26, 2013, BBB contacted Empower Network LLC requesting information as to why the business believes the customers are filling the complaints and what actions the business has taken to eliminate the causes of complaints. Empower Network does not believe that Empower Network does not believe that it has a pattern of complaints and has stated the number of complaints is very few compared to the number the volume of business. Empower Network stated it has taken every step necessary to make needed changes and has diligently worked to address any issues to eliminate the underlying cause of complaints. The business request, again, this would be the Empower Network, and BBB recommends that if you have any complaints or concerns, please contact Nicole McLean directly at compliance@empowernetwork.com or 727-755-6230 to resolve any issues prior to contacting the BBB. So if you go over to that compliance email, again, I'll highlight that again. I actually typed in Empower Network compliance. If you go to empowernetwork.com compliance, they have a whole page devoted to their compliance issues, documentation, so on and so forth. So, for example, affiliate procedures, compensation plan, business entry forms, so on and so forth. They have information from their CEO. They've done a lot of changes over the last few years as far as being accredited for people, and some of the big issues that took place years and years ago. And when I say that, I mean this is their third year. So, within the first year and a half, some of those complaints stemming right here, this, 163 complaints in the last 3 years, a lot of that was due to people misrepresenting the company, just, blatantly claiming that you could make a lot of money, which is, in my, my idea is a lot of bullshit. It takes work in this industry. Notice it's net work. Okay, there's that four-letter word that people don't like to do, but work. Okay, if you look up, energy, for example, the definition of energy in the dictionary, it is the ability to do work. So you have to expend some serious energy in doing this. Whether it's blogging, whether it's writing, whether it's talking to people, you have to put an effort into doing this to be, working in this system. So down below, income disclosures, terms and conditions, compliance, the DMCA notice, refund policies, privacy, contact support, everything is laid out here for you. Okay, they have totally come full circle. Just like most companies that might have issues when they get off and start new businesses, you know, there's always complaints. You can look up any single company and you will probably find complaints. If they're not accredited with the Better Business Bureau, chances are their ranking is going to be a little bit lower. It's up to you to do your due diligence. Now, just to show you, I'm going to log in here. If I can get to the main page, I'm going to log in with my account and just show you that I am an all-in member. I'm not, you know, feeding you a line of bull crap. I am all in with the Empower Network. There's basically two things that I don't have, and that's just hosting. Okay, so media hosting, a lead capture system. Basically, I use a different lead capture system, so that's basically just using Aweber or something else. I actually use GVO and Pure Leverage and often lead into a different lead capture page that then redirects into Empower Network. But I do have a Get Response account that I use with iPass, which also works with that as well. So, you know, live events, everything else I have. I'm an affiliate. I blog, so on and so forth. I looked at it, I have over 250 blog posts. So I have the team building formula. I have the top producer formula. I have all the core products, the Fire blogging system, the Inner Circle, Costa Rica Intensive, 15K Master's Master Course. Otherwise, it would be a purchase link here. For example, where it says activate, none of these say activate because I already own the courses. So just want to let you know that I am all in. If you have any questions, email me at davegardner@magneticsponsors.com. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have about this. But again, I have it all. So it's up to you to do your due diligence and understand that the Empower Network really isn't going anywhere except up. They keep getting better, and they've you know, gotten rid of some of the issues. They've gotten rid of some of the people and removed some of the affiliates that have done wrong by them in the past. And what we have in the future now is going to be progress. Okay, you have to be able to work. You have to be able to take action on what you're getting into. A lot of the business complaints, I'm kind of humored by them. You can actually click and see what the issues were. So let's just look at this. For example, the advertising, sales, and issues. You can actually see what some of their statements were. So, for example, there was an issue I was looking at the other day. This one right here from you know, November 2014. I requested a refund almost a year ago and never received a response. This is a copy of the letter I sent. It gives you all the information, and they will actually talk about, you know, how they responded, what they did, you know, what the person actually did. So, for example, this talks about, I looked at the paltry money I had my 401k and realized that I found money to make fast. Hey, these are people that come up with just the most random stories. If you actually look at some of the Better Business Bureau complaints, these are people who have a sad life. Okay, they're not people that are willing to take action. They're looking for handouts. They're looking, oftentimes they're people that have no money and they're just, you know, randomly overcharging without the ability to pay off. And they're just looking for someone to help them out. They're looking for a quick fix. So you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, it's really random when you consider what's going on with the Better Business Bureau accommodations and you know, the accreditations, I guess that's the appropriate word. You have to do your due diligence, but there are many people being extremely successful with the Empower Network. Okay, you have to be able to put in the work. If you're not going to put in the work, and if you're not willing to spend, you know, $25 a month to grow your business, then don't do it. All right. If we look at my profile here, we can actually see all of the blog post history. So there's my blog post history. Just scrolling down, I have about 250 blog posts that I've done in the past, you know, year and a half. You know, I blogged heavily in the beginning for a while, and then, you know, I kind of did some other stuff, and I promote other things, and I'm building my own business on the same front as well. But again, I use the services, and I use the content and the knowledge that I've gained with all the other courses in my other businesses. I'm very passionate about the game of lacrosse. I have lacrosse websites, and I sell lacrosse products, and I actually take a lot of the knowledge that I develop here and actually apply it into there. So, you know, how to be a top producer. I apply that knowledge into my other business. So you don't necessarily have to use Empower to promote Empower, but it is a possible option. People are making very good money promoting it. And again, you know, you scroll down to the bottom and look for the income disclaimers when you go to empowernetwork.com. There is no guarantee of money, not in any business. If you were to get something, let's say if you wanted to open a Burger King and get a B+ rating, or say that you're B+, you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, not just hundreds of dollars, but hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get that business going as a brick and mortar store, where you can get started just for a few $100s throughout the course of the year with just the basic blog. If you wanted to promote and be an affiliate, yeah, there's an affiliate fee, which basically is like having a merchant account. It covers your processing, it covers your fees, it covers the support for other people, and it allows the company to pay off a bigger change in the commissions, which is one of the other issues that people complained about, is that they went to a 70% commission structure. So, what I do need to go through again, they did change this because they want to make sure that you verify and you agree with the new compliance for the training. So again, they're making it better. Yeah, they've made some changes, but they're making them for the better. And if you're ready to make that next step, I welcome you to join me at the Empower Network. Just go to thedavidgardner.com/blogging and you get started right now today. Thanks.